Edmonton up. Edmonton up. Get in. Get in. Get in on this. Get in on this. Edmonton taking the cup. One win away from winning the Stanley Cup on Donald Trump's birthday, June the 14th. Edmonton wins Game 5 on the night of Donald Trump's birthday on the West Coast. Edmonton is one win away. Canada is one win away from the Stanley Cup. On the West Coast, after the game is over, at 9 o'clock, whatever time, on Saturday night, on Donald Trump's birthday, Canada is going to be one win away from clinching the Stanley Cup. We are almost there. Edmonton up, baby. Edmonton up. Let's go, Oilers. Let's go, Oilers. Let's go, Oilers. Edmonton up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We getting this done right here. But I get the feeling that this is a David versus Goliath saga where Florida is the better team, McDavid's the better player, but then Florida's the better team. Edmonton is showing cracks. They're too mentally fragile. The Florida players are getting under the skin of Edmonton. 6-1 and down 3-0. It appeared that mentally they have collapsed. But this is cinematic. This is, in Goat King LeBron's words, straight out of a movie. You haven't won the Stanley Cup in over 3 decades. Florida appears too mighty for you. And suddenly we have witnessed something magical. Down 3-0 and Edmonton go up 4-3. Extra man. Empty net. Seconds away from winning. Just like Game 3. Florida ties the game, but they lose in overtime. The reversal of the roles in Game 2, where Edmonton tied it at the death, but then they lost in overtime at home. So it's the same exact outcome. It's just the roles were reversed right there. This Stanley Cup has been killing it. David versus Goliath, best player on the world, empty netters at the death, miraculous comeback, 3-0. Edmonton came back down 3-1 to tie it and win in overtime. And so Edmonton, they've been getting the better of these moments, these comebacks. We're going to be looking back at this series, and we're going to be looking back at the series, and Florida had moments to put Edmonton away. But this really is the ultimate underdog, the ultimate darlings. Everyone is rooting for Canada to win. Well, I'm rooting for Canada to win, but the Gematria says Edmonton's going to win. This Stanley Cup has been killing the NBA Finals. This is David versus Goliath. This is the best player in the world. Long title drought. This is far better than Oklahoma City and Indiana with this. And now this hockey series, obviously it's like a 50-50 battle with Florida has a slight edge because they're the big bully in the block. They up 3-0. They had the 6-1, the 3-0 lead. So they the big bad boys in the block. But with this Thunder Pacers, and now there have been scripted cinematic moments in the hockey series. The Stanley Cup is scripted. But what my point is it feels organic. The NBA Finals, though, it feels manipulated. Oh, the Thunder just lay down and they sell the games because otherwise there's a 5-game series. But then you see the NBA Finals is full of crap. Everyone's going to be talking about the 2-1. 80% of the teams up 2-1 NBA Finals, they win. But let's add context to that. How many teams came back from 2-1 having as big of a win differential than the opponent that is currently up 2-1? So how many times has a team come back to win the finals, but how many of them have won 18 more games than the opponent? The Pacers, the Thunder have won 18 more games during the regular season. So that statistic means nothing, because how many of these teams that came back in the NBA Finals down 2-1, how many of them have won 10 plus more games than their opponent that's currently leading? Not many, if any. If one were to dig into the 2-1s in the NBA Finals and you look at the win differentials, the Thunder have the biggest win differential of their opponent for a team trailing 2-1 in the finals. I am pretty certain that they probably have the biggest win differential over an opponent while currently trailing 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Like, let's be real. Does this 2-1 even matter when the Thunder have 18 more wins on these guys from Indiana? You look at Tyrese Halliburton. He's a good player, but is he a superstar? Hell no. I think he's a franchise player, but he's not a superstar. He's not even averaging 20 points. You got to get me 23, 25 at least. You got to get over 20 points in today's NBA. And Tyrese Halliburton is not that guy. The guy who came off of the bench to carry the Pacers, that's not going to happen every night. The Thunder are deeper than the Indiana Pacers. The Thunder are not going to sell after winning the first quarter. The Thunder are not going to sell winning by how many points with under 3 minutes left? 8, 9 points. The bottom line is the Thunder are coming back to win the series. They win in game 4, and home court is back to OKC. Still won on the road, and the Thunder have been amazing at home all season long. And this is my point. This guy is not a superstar. 20.7 points per game is his highest point average. He simply is not that guy. He has been manufactured with these ridiculous scripted, it's a 9-point lead with 2 minutes, organically left up the chance. Nobody. The Knicks took a dive. Because you can't fire a coach who's in the NBA Finals. The Pacers are the bully in the block. So how I mentioned the Florida Panthers are the bully in the block over Edmonton. The bully in the block between the Pacers and the Knicks is Indiana. They have the New York Knicks number. Thibs could not beat Indiana. The Knicks need a real coach. And everything that has been said about the disaster head coaching search, I'm not buying any of that. I'm still adamant that Mike Malone is the chosen one to coach the New York Knicks, to coach the team from his birth city. He was from Astoria in New York. You don't fire a guy like that when you don't have somebody else already lined up. And I would have mentioned only 2 names. Mike Malone is my top choice. My number 2 top choice is Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson obviously has the history with the team, and Mark Jackson is not on Disney anymore. He's not on ABC anymore because he got fired. Mark Jackson don't return to the TV. If he don't return to commentate basketball, We waiting for Mark Jackson. These are my sentiments on the job of the New York Knicks. The NBA Finals is crap. It is absolute garbage. And everybody say you hate the Dodgers, you hate the Yankees. Well, if you hate these teams, you had an opportunity to watch such an outlier of a series between the D-backs and the Rangers. When it came time to walk the walk and not just talk the talk about big markets, you failed miserably. You didn't care about the D-backs. You didn't care about the Texas Rangers. It was a big ratings flop. What happened after D-backs Rangers? What a coincidence. Yankees Dodgers the very next year after the lowest rated World Series in modern times between the D-backs and the Rangers. I'm not exaggerating. The public is so fucking retarded. They don't understand how these fucking games work. In no fucking planet does Indiana beat Oklahoma City in the finals. In no goddamn planet does Las Vegas lose with over 90% of the tickets were on Indiana to win the finals outright before the Thunder and the Pacers tipped off. I mean, money talks at the end of the day. The Pacers are not winning the finals. They're not really winning. The Thunder have sold 2 games to keep the series interesting because they are suffering a colossal ratings disaster. Games 1, Game 2, and Game 3 were down 20% from the prior year. In other words, it didn't matter if the Pacers were up 1-0. It didn't matter if the series was tied. It didn't matter that the series was close. People were still not interested in these I don't care flyover states, and Halliburton is not a superstar because he simply doesn't average enough points to be warranted as a superstar. Franchise player, yes, but superstar, no way. No way. You don't even average 20 points in today's NBA. That kind of guy is not going to be your finals MVP. It's going to be the free throw merchant. Now, the free throw merchant, SGA, he got good mid-range game. He has good mid-range game. He ain't just shooting threes. We like seeing guys score in different ways. Not just settling for these outside jump shots, but getting aggressive and keeping these defenders in the paint honest. That is what SGA does. He's got a little bit of attack mode in his game. But in today's NBA, he still is a flop. And the referees have been told to send him to the free throw line because they're trying to market another superstar. There's no contest. He's averaging 32.7 points per game, if I remember to be exact. Halliburton only averaging 20.7 was his career high, but I don't think he's even averaging 20.7 this year. SGA's got 12 points on Halliburton. The Thunder have more defensive options than the Indiana Pacers. A guy off the bench is not going to score that many points again for another game. Thunder are going to be up 3-2. Anything's possible because the ratings disaster continues. We'll break it game by game. We're close to being halfway through the series, and after 3 games, nothing has changed. The numbers were the lowest since 2007, excluding COVID years 20 and 21. The commissioner noticed before the game 3 had to get up on NBA Countdown and talk about the ratings, sell and rationalize away the lowest rated finals in 18 years. His point, Adam Silver, was that we had the highest rated TV program. We had the highest rated, we were the highest rated TV program. Well, there are more options to watch from nowadays. There's more to watch from. So, of course, there's a bunch of different channels you can watch compared to the 10, 20 years ago with all the various ways of streaming, including Disney Plus, including Max, including HBO. So that people, of course, you're at the highest rated TV program. Because this means if there are other channels to watch, then you don't have to watch NBA. The public really is that gullible. They really think Indiana is going to win the finals. The public is deluded. How do you know the public is deluded? The public was all over the Mavericks before the finals started. The public was on the Mavericks over the Celtics last year. Well, we know how that turned out. It was just common sense. Celtics are the far better team. I wonder why the hell Donald Trump got elected. Well, because of stupidity like this. People think a team with a bunch of scrubs off of the bench, marginal role players like the Miami Heat, that is who the Mavericks had, they're going to beat the Celtics. The deepest roster in basketball. I think the Lakers have a great roster, but I'm giving the props to the OKC Thunder. I know we beat their ass in the regular season. I know we did before Luka got ejected. It's okay. We're going to beat these clowns next year, right? Yes, of course we are. Of course we are. But what's this year about is Alex Caruso winning the ring. Alex Caruso wins a ring. A two-time NBA champion up against Goki the Bar. Austin Reeves got to dethrone the champion. What's the scoop with Austin Reeves? He played college basketball at Norman at the Oklahoma Sooners, undrafted. I think a half hour away, less than a half hour away from OKC is Norman, Oklahoma. Austin Reeves was a disaster last playoffs, but the script calls for Austin Reeves to go full AR-15 to knock off the defending champion, a homecoming at Oklahoma where he played college basketball. So we beating the Thunder. Look, the Bonte ain't gonna beat the Thunder. They're gonna be the defending champion. Look, the Bonte! How many defending champion has he got the Bond beat? The Warriors were defending champion. San Antonio was not. Mavs were not. Okay. You are brainwashed. JK. Okay. Thank you. He got 2 rings left. He got 2 rings left. You see, they've won 18 more games than the Pacers. The Pacers are not winning. It isn't this difficult. Pacers pay out more. Don't use that to sway your thinking. Because I know people are swayed by odds, and that's just terrible, quite frankly. You look at OKC, it's The narrative before the Lakers dethroned the Thunder, I told you Austin Reeves played at the Oklahoma Sooners. I believe he's going nowhere. He idolized Kobe, so this guy got to go undrafted, win the title, just like another white mamba, Alex Caruso. I think he's Italian, by the way. Caruso, that's my G. I miss this guy. He got hops too. But the stupid Lakers management got rid of all these guys, and the script called for Gold Bond to win 5 and 6 in year 23-24. So Lakers are not allowed to win, and therefore certain guys are not allowed to stay. They say it's about the luxury tax, but I think it's about the script. I think we have some big guys, but coach didn't play them. Maxi Kleber, Alex Len is marginal, but the Kleber, he's got chemistry with Luka, so I think we've got our guy already, Maxi Kleber. Obviously, we want to improve the depth chart, so another center, Lakers aren't going to get. Maxi Kleber, I like. He's worked with Luka, so I like him. He's German. He's got international flair to him. He's got the people in Germany supporting the Lakers, so I'm good with him. But I know, obviously, we got to get better. We got to get better. But, and again, so the Lakers narrative is true, but the Kevin Durant shaming ritual doesn't go away. The Thunder are going to win without Kevin Durant. Hockey game. Miami loses 4-5. Well, they're called the Florida Panthers, but they play hockey at Miami 5-4. They lose 4-5. Oilers down 3-0. They tie the game. So that hockey game was rigged, but I'm glad Edmonton won. And 32 years since they won the Stanley Cup, Edmonton will be up 3-2 on Donald Trump's birthday, on the night of Donald Trump's birthday. It's midnight when the game is over on the East Coast, where the fastest grifters at. Hopefully it rains so it fucks up the parade. Anyway, I think this Kevin Durant saving ritual. Okay, Thunder have to win. He can never go to the Thunder, Kevin Durant. My top 2 options for Kevin Durant, number 1 is the Knicks, because, get him in the finals against Goalkeeper Bond. Kevin Durant has a problem beating the Celtics. He's got history with the Celtics, like Goalkeeper Bond does have history with the Celtics. You have to beat the Celtics like Goalkeeper Bond beat the Celtics back in the day with the Miami Heat against Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. Durant beat these guys 4-1. And then he got swept against the Celtics. The Celtics have Kevin Durant's number. Number 2 is the San Antonio Spurs. Because of the international presence of Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, Durant, and Wemby would be good for some of the top interests of the NBA is to put one of their top faces internationally in the playoffs on a year-to-year basis and as championship contenders. So for me, it's either Knicks or Spurs for Kevin Durant. Spurs Lakers rivalry in the 2000s, and Goalkeeper Bond has had a long-lasting finals rivalry with San Antonio. No Greg Popovich, but he's still the president of the San Antonio Spurs. So it's still Greg Popovich against Goalkeeper Bond, but Greg Popovich is no longer coach of the San Antonio Spurs, but he's still part of day-to-day basketball operations of San Antonio. This is it right here, and I want to start a new stream, and we will get into what is happening in LA and why I am worried about martial law coming into America. And it's something that should concern everybody. More to come on everything that's happening right now in these very, very uncertain, cloudy days facing the United States of America.